I was picking up my granddaughter from school when she got into the car, wearing an expression I can't forget. She didn't look upset. She wasn't angry. She just looked blank, empty, as if something inside her had gone quiet. She's 15. I asked her how her day went. She shrugged. I asked if anything had happened. She said no. Then, after sitting there in silence for a while, she said something that's been echoing in my mind ever since. She said, "Grandpa, does it ever feel like nothing you do actually matters? My name is George. I'm 87 years old. I've lived through wars, economic crashes, family losses, and mistakes I wouldn't wish on anyone. And when she asked me that question, it shook me because I've asked myself the very same thing more times than I can count. The difference is this: I'm near the end of my life, looking back. She's right at the beginning, looking ahead. And somewhere between those two viewpoints, I think I've finally understood something important. We live in a world obsessed with impact. Everyone wants to make a mark, to change something, to be remembered. You see it everywhere. People chase careers they believe will give their life meaning. They post online hoping to feel seen. They measure their worth by how many people know their name. I understand that urge, I really do. But here's what I've learned after almost 9 decades on this earth. The things that truly matter usually don't feel important when they're happening. Let me tell you about my neighbour Margaret. She lived 3 houses down from us for 42 years. Margaret was a school teacher, never married, no children of her own. She taught 3rd grade at the same elementary school for her entire career. When she retired, there was a small gathering in the school gym. Maybe 30 people came. No cameras, no speeches anyone would remember. She was given a plaque and a bouquet of flowers. 2 years later, she passed away quietly in her sleep. When I went to her funeral, I expected a modest crowd. Margaret had always been reserved, unassuming. But the church was full, standing room only. One by one, people stood up to speak. A doctor said Margaret was the first person who ever made him feel smart. A woman who now ran a non-profit said Margaret taught her to read when everyone else had given up. A man in his 50s brought his daughter and said he became a teacher because of her. Story after story, lives redirected, futures changed, all because of a woman who thought she was simply doing her job. Margaret never tried to change the world. She never chased recognition. She showed up every day and paid attention to the children in front of her. She learned their names. She noticed when they were struggling. She stayed late to help them understand spelling words or fractions. Nothing glamorous, nothing headline worthy, and yet the ripples from her life are still moving outward decades later through people she'll never meet. I think we've misunderstood what it means to matter. We assume mattering means being visible, being known, being remembered by crowds, but that's not how life actually works. Life is built out of small moments between people. A conversation that gently shifts someone's perspective. A kindness that shows up right when someone is close to giving up. Being there when it's inconvenient. Listening when you'd rather speak. These moments don't feel important when they're happening. They feel ordinary, routine, easy to overlook. When I was 39, I went through a rough stretch. My business was failing, money was tight. I was drinking more than I should have and sleeping far less than I needed. I felt like I had failed. One evening, I was sitting in my car outside a bar, trying to decide whether to go in. A man I barely knew, Tom, knocked on my window. We'd met maybe twice. He said he was heading out for coffee and asked if I wanted to come along. That was it. No lecture, no intervention, just coffee. We sat in a diner for 2 hours. He didn't ask what was wrong. He didn't try to fix anything. He just talked about ordinary things, his kids, a book he was reading, a trip he'd taken years earlier, and somewhere in the middle of that completely normal conversation, something inside me settled. I didn't go into that bar. I went home. I don't remember everything we talked about, but that moment mattered. It changed the direction of my night, maybe my life, and Tom probably forgot about it by the next morning. That's the truth about mattering. It's almost never dramatic. It doesn't announce itself. You don't get a notification telling you that something you did made a difference. Most of the time, you'll never know. You'll do something that feels small to you, and it will mean everything to someone else. And you'll move on, assuming it didn't amount to much. My wife, Eleanor, used to write letters, real letters, with stamps. She wrote to our kids when they were away at college. She wrote to old friends she hadn't seen in years, cousins, neighbours, anyone who crossed her mind. I used to tease her. I'd say, everyone has phones now, just call them. She'd smile and keep writing. After she passed, I found boxes of letters people had written back to her, and almost everyone mentioned how much her letters meant, how some had kept them for years, how they reread them during difficult times. She wasn't trying to matter, she was just reaching out, and she mattered enormously. Here's what I wish someone had told me when I was younger. Your life doesn't need to be extraordinary to matter. In fact, it probably shouldn't be. The pressure to be exceptional, to stand out, to make a big splash, crushes people. It convinces them that an ordinary life isn't enough, that showing up for your family, doing your work honestly, being kind to strangers somehow doesn't count unless it looks impressive. But the truth is, almost everything that holds our world together is done by people no one will remember. Parents who wake up in the middle of the night with sick children. Workers who show up on time and do their jobs well. Friends who check in because they sense something is wrong. Volunteers who serve meals, clean parks, visit hospitals. People who vote, who recycle, who return shopping carts, small, unremarkable acts that keep everything from falling apart. If you want to know whether you matter, look at the people right in front of you. Are you present with them? Are you honest? Are you kind when you don't have to be? Do you keep your promises? Do you make space for other people's pain? Do you celebrate their joy? Those questions won't put you on magazine covers. They won't build your platform or grow your influence, but they will determine whether your life actually meant something. I've been thinking a lot about my granddaughter's question, does anything I do really matter? And I've realized that the question itself is part of the problem. Because when we ask it, we're usually asking if we matter in some grand, measurable way, if we're important, influential, exceptional. But that's not how mattering works. Mattering is quieter, more personal. It's knowing that your presence or your absence would make a real difference to real people. When my grandson was 7, he was terrified of water, wouldn't go near a pool. One summer, I spent 3 weeks standing with him at the shallow end, 15 minutes a day. I didn't push him. I didn't lecture. I just stood there while he got used to it. By the end of the summer, he was swimming. He's 23 now. He probably doesn't remember those afternoons, but I do. Because I know that if I hadn't been there, steady and patient, his fear might have followed him. That's mattering. Not because it's impressive, because it's real. The older I get, the more I see that most of what we chase is smoke. Status fades, achievements disappear, people forget your accomplishments faster than you'd expect. But I don't forget how you made them feel. I don't forget that you showed up. I don't forget that you saw them when they felt invisible. Those things last. I was at the grocery store last week. The young woman at the checkout looked exhausted, dark circles under her eyes, moving slowly. I could have paid and left her. Instead, I asked how she was doing and actually waited for the answer. She looked surprised. Then her eyes filled with tears. She told me she'd been working double shifts because her mother was sick. We talked for maybe 3 minutes. I told her she was doing something honourable, that her mother was lucky to have her. When I left, she thanked me twice. Did that change the world? No. Did it matter to her in that moment? I think it did. So here's my answer to my granddaughter, and maybe to you. Yes, what you do matters, but probably not in the ways you've been taught to look for. It matters in the small moments, the unglamorous ones, the ones you won't post about or put on a resume. It matters when you choose patience over anger, when you tell the truth even when lying would be easier, when you help someone even though no one's watching, when you stay when leaving would be simpler. Your life doesn't need to be a spectacle to matter. It just needs to be honest, present and kind. And that's harder than it sounds, because it requires attention. It asks you to show up when you're tired, to care when it's inconvenient. But that's where real significance lives, not in the spotlight, but in the steady, quiet work of being human with other humans. I'm 87, I don't have many years left, and when I think about what I want my life to have meant, I don't think about awards or recognition. I think about the people I loved well, the moments I was fully present, the times I helped without needing credit, the conversations where I truly listened. Those are the things that mattered. Those are the things that will outlast me. If any of this resonates with you, consider sharing it with someone who might need to hear it. Leave a comment and tell me one small thing you're going to pay more attention to. And subscribe if you'd like more of these conversations. I still have a little more to say, and I'd like to say it to people who want to listen.